Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to your favorite convention-related podcast, Con Job. This week, the triumvirate is going to be talking about Southwest and their baggage fees increase. They're dropping the 2 free bags thing. The bags fly free. That was their motto forever, and now it's not. So we kind of talk about how that's going to affect the industry for the artists and vendors that are going to be traveling a lot because, I feel like a solid 90% probably only use Southwest because of that 2 bags flying free portion. But now that it's no longer going to be a thing coming up at the end of May, we got to scramble to try to figure it out. So yeah, listen in. And if you want, give us a reply. Let us know what you think. All right. Enjoy. Without further ado, we are back once again in your world, whether it's in your ear or in your face and your ear at the same time on YouTube. It's up to you. So you choose. 3 lovely faces to look at. One has a lot of hair, one has none, and one has in the middle.
In between, is
A
that
normal amount of hair. We're the Goldilocks.
We're the outliers on either side.
True.
But yeah, so here this week we're going to be let's talk about Jeremy first. You're the Wanderer.
Yeah, I'm just cruising. We're out at Indiana Comic Con, and I couldn't get anywhere else to record, so we're just gonna walk around the show floor and
I like it.
see who we can see.
Dedication, Holmes. So this one we want to talk about the breaking news. Well, I guess it's not breaking as of right now, but it was breaking just recently about Southwest and them ending the free check bags. And so we have 5 employees, Dylan. I know you have 73 for the 673 shows that you do, but we have to figure out because the 2 free bags is, we take full advantage of that. And that's going to be a big change. So what were your initial thoughts?
Oh, like they were teasing it for months, for years even. And then I woke up, that was the first email, and I'm immediately like, oh boy. Like, I thought it was immediate as of that day. We at least have until May 28th to scramble and figure out what we're going to do. But yeah, this isn't just like a slight hiccup. This is kind of like how our entire business is based on flying Southwest, each person getting 2 free check bags. And it's like, it's definitely an obstacle we got to sort out in the next 2 months.
Yeah, and I think the 2 of us alone are going to be doing a lot of research. The only good thing that can come of this is now we can expand. I mean, yes, we have to pay more for bags, but if we have to pay them regardless, we can expand to other airlines, and I can almost always guarantee a Sunday flight home. So you don't have to stay till Monday, which helps, Hey, that's a nice booth behind you, Jeremy. I like that.
Check that out. Sorry to
say hi
make
to Sadie watching there. And but yeah, I think
she's going to see this later. We are recording now. She's doing work. She's doing good work.
I like it. But yeah, I think the only benefit, I mean, if we're going to have to pay the bags, it's going to hurt. But the only benefit could be that I think the vast majority of the time we should be able to find a Sunday night flight home on one of the major airlines instead of saying, oh, I have to stick with Southwest.
Now, that is true. There's been a couple shows where we just book it, and then we're like, you realize there's no Southwest into that airport. We have to fly to this city an hour and a half away and then drive.
We had that happen recently where we had to fly into and use American. They were the only ones that flew in. That was in Maine.
So yes, now we never even looked at the other options. That's how loyal we were. And now, yes, we're going to look everywhere. So I guess that's
Dylan or Jeremy. What were you going to say? We've interrupted you twice already.
I was going to say, realistically for us, the only reason we fly Southwest is because of these bags. The fares weren't any cheaper. Right, so
the seats aren't comfy. You don't get a TV.
It's not great. Like, you still pay for everything on the flight. We don't fly enough to be like any special tier, which we'll get into.
Right.
But for us, this just means, I guess, we're gonna just have to sign up for several different mileage programs and see what shakes out. It's gonna be, for just the 2 of us, basically, we were counting on having our buddy pass, right? So we
Companion,
had our
yeah.
buddy pass. There's 2 of us that fly. That's 4 free bags for one
One
fare.
ticket, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being gone, every show that
But
we go to now,
would the price of it, let's say you only have to pay the one fare, would the price of adding the bags times 4, would that, I mean, I guess that's going to probably
yeah, you
close
got
to
to
the
pay it each
equivalent.
way.
That's probably the close to the equivalent of a new flight, right? I would say, or even more. So
It's
yeah,
probably
right.
more. Depending, a lot of their flights were, we were definitely like we always fly the want to get away
Yeah,
price because we're like we're not going to change it,
yeah,
and
of
if
Mm-hmm.
course,
something
of course,
happens, it's it's saving us enough money that way.
right.
I'm I don't know. I guess I'm more curious because you guys are going to be kind of my test subjects with this. 'Cause y'all are going to have a lot more opportunities to figure it out. But
Now, one thing I did hear, and this was from Adam. I don't know if you're going to walk by his booth, but he called them, and he had mentioned that, or they had mentioned to him, and I don't know how accurate this is, but the person he spoke to said if as long as your ticket is purchased prior to that date, what was the date? May 28th.
May
They'll honor
28th.
the 2 free bags. So I know Dylan, because you have 73 workers and 678 shows, you can just buy all of your flights for the rest of the year and be done with it. But to me, that's the only out.
Well, so I
that's
was looking at that. It's a little confusing wording. So I want to call and confirm
Yes.
that because
So
I'm like, how
again,
does that work? Because if that's the case, we'll just book it throughout the whole year. But then what does that mean? Do they show up on, in August and they give them the bags and they'll be like, oh, that's 150. It's like, no. It's like, here's what this ticket says. Maybe like
Yeah.
that would be
yeah, you might
wonderful
get
if
some
not.
pushback. Right.
But I mean, we will absolutely do that because I mean that it's not going to be pretty spending that much up front. But if we can, hey guys.
just at your booth, by the way.
But if we can save a few $1,000s, and I mean that's what it will be, thousands of dollars in
thousands,
bags,
right.
then
You're
like
talking, right? The bags that we did confirm, they're going to be 75 per bag, right? Because we
Yeah,
haven't seen anything different. We haven't seen anything different. Let's just put it that way. We did do a little research. Now, if someone finds out that we're wrong, we apologize, but I'll blame it on Dylan on this one.
then I don't know what's the fee for oversized bags? Because everybody has oversized bags.
That,
an
those are
extra
150.
75.
Yeah, it's an extra. So it'll be 150 per bag. So you're talking 300. So, oh, look at that one. That's
That's
a
nice.
It's probably the best one.
nice
I'm being
banner.
honest.
I'm not gonna lie. That's
really
pretty
good banner.
So how it break? I mean, I know Dylan, you and I mentioned kind of we want to talk about what we do. So we have American. I've mentioned it on many a pod. So we use their credit cards for our business. So
When you say we, you mean just you?
just So it's under Megan, right? So we use it for her business. Every expense we have, we pay for on that card. Because of that, we get points, and then with each point level, you get to I'm now executive platinum. Okay, and that's their highest tier other than concierge key, which is a whole different animal altogether. That's one where they'll literally like pick you up at your house and drive you to the airport. I'm not kidding. They'll bring you out on the tarmac to load onto the plane. Seriously. And they bring the cart to pick you up at your gate, and they bring you to the next gate.
And you're not there yet?
Here nor there. No, there's no Google that one. Nobody knows how to become concierge key because we spend a lot of money with them. So, but anyway,
Much money. I need a dollar amount.
I digress. $14. $14.63. Whoa.
Another cruise.
That is
colorful booth.
That's a big one.
But so we have executive platinum status. So with that, I get 3 free 70-pound bags for everyone on my booking. So like when we go with the kids, like when we bring all 3 kids like anywhere, we get 3 times 5. So we get 15 70-pound bags, which obviously we don't need, because then we would need Dylan's van or Jeremy's van to drive everything around. But
so we just need to start a commune.
That's the perk, the 370. Now I know, with if you're going oversized, you could go up to 99, right? So I just at 70, and it's like I get that third bag, so it's never a problem. Very, very seldom a problem. And I have my backpack, which I can throw another, 250.
You have to be present, like you, the executive. What do you call yourself?
Yes. So if I
you
book
have to be present.
So if I book the flight for you, for example, if I book it for you and I booked it, you don't get the executive platinum status.
What
I have to be on it.
what if you buy a ticket
If I don't
and just
fly,
don't show up?
yeah, then they'll cancel the rest of the.
Yeah,
They'll
they don't like
cancel
it
the
because
rest of the
I've thought about that. About like,
Because
oh,
Yeah,
that'd be
it's
way
literally
cheaper.
cheaper to buy. Sometimes it's cheaper to buy another ticket than to pay for
yeah.
bags. Like, oh, what
Have
if
to
this
check
person's
in.
going? And
You
you
have
don't
to
want to do
check
that.
in whether you have to get on the flight. I don't know. I think so. I
Well,
think
they
I
will
don't think you can just check in.
if you start checking in and don't get on the flights, they
They'll
will
yeah, they'll
blacklist
flag
you.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Because that I've had times where I got in trouble because they said I didn't hit my connecting flight, but that's because when I landed, I switched to a different connecting flight, and they were like, "Oh, hey, you didn't catch your flight."
Yeah,
You know, that's one strike against you.
yeah,
It's like,
'cause
whoa, whoa, whoa.
that's a pretty popular like hack or whatever. Where if you depending on the legs, like there's a whole app that's built to find these like trips where booking the flight for two legs actually is cheaper than booking a direct flight. So if you don't get on that last connection, then it's somehow saving you money. It's called like skip tracking, or I don't remember what it's called, but
Skip
they
lagging.
they don't
I've
like it.
heard of it.
Yeah,
I've
if
heard
you're
of
a
it. Yeah,
career flyer, like you don't want to mess with anything that's against policy
yeah,
like that.
right,
Yeah,
right, and especially with
we don't
how
want to saving $75 for a bag turn into never fly
right,
again.
and with the amount of times that we fly with them, I get because of the executive platinum status, I get upgraded 90% of the time to a first class seat to where it's like, put it this way, if I don't get upgraded, I'm like, what the hell's going on? You know what I mean? Like it's almost a guarantee at this point. But I fly out of Palm Beach, so there's not many. If you have a lot of people flying, like say, like Dylan, you're flying out of Dallas, right? You're gonna have a lot more people flying out of Dallas because that's an American Airlines hub. So you're less likely. It comes down to loyalty points. You know, when you get your points, whoever has the most gets higher on that list. So you're gonna have people that have like over 1 million. You know,
So you don't seem too concerned about Southwest because you have a
I
nice
do.
American. However,
I
that's
am.
just
I
for
am.
you and Meg and
That's
everything.
just specifically if I'm flying or Meg and I are flying.
So why
Meg.
not? Is there
So
a
we
reason why you want like you're missing South? Because this sounds like a pretty good program. Do you want just do American for all your employees?
I will never get executive platinum status with them. That's so I don't I don't want to I don't know what happened to my camera. I just went bright. But
Oh my
I
God.
don't I don't know what the heck. I don't want to go there with them. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the deal is. So I'm hoping that we can hoping something can be figured out. I don't know what happened to my video. That's strange. But can you still hear me?
You
Yep.
sound just as
All right,
bad
that's
as
all that
always.
matters. Trust me, seeing a black screen of me is much better than seeing my face.
It's very acceptable.
But yeah, so honestly, I'm hoping that we figure out a way. I'm hoping that maybe pressure that I've seen Southwest getting, that they just bow to the pressure and go, maybe we'll start it next year or something. You know what I mean? I don't know, but it sounds like from the articles we've been reading that they've been planning this, and like what is the one I saw? Like it said other airlines had made 1.7 billion last year in earnings from just in bag fees. Other airlines have made, and Southwest made like 70 million. So that's a lot of quiche, a lot of extra quiche they're leaving on the table. But I think Jeremy, you made a good point. It's if they're not giving us the bags, they're basically Spirit Airlines now,
Yeah, why
right?
not just fly Spirit if that's just
Yeah.
as cheap and
I mean,
cheaper if you got to pay
Yeah,
for bags?
I mean, if we're gonna pay for everything all the time, like I'm just
yeah,
gonna go with whatever's cheaper, because Southwest ultimately probably may not be cheaper in every situation, but it was the most convenient. And
not cheaper for the
I,
flight, but it's cheaper overall because of the bag. When you add the bag
Because
fees
of
in,
yeah,
our
yeah,
use case. Yeah.
right,
yeah, it's like
right,
you pay a little bit extra, but you're getting the bags, and we know we're bringing heavy bags home, so it was just something you have to do.
right, right.
But now it's like
And
I,
with
I don't know,
Southwest, when
maybe in the end it'll wash out, and we could just say, hey, like we actually have a little bit more freedom, and we're not paying anything more. I don't know. I think
it's still new to know. Like I don't, none
Yeah,
of us have an actual answer yet. It's too new, but I just think it's something that we got to get out there and get
yeah.
people talking about it because it's
I'm
definitely
curious to
something.
see. I don't know how airlines forecast other than what makes sense is like how many tickets are being booked, but like, will we see a drop in Southwest prices?
Yeah,
I mean, maybe.
are they
No,
Um,
trade? Are
I
they
feel like
trading
at first it's
companies?
like, look, we have the cheaper option. And then eventually that gets a little more expensive. Then eventually it's the exact same price you were paying back when you had all the fees. It's just
yeah,
so they'll
Right.
lose
I mean
us.
that's
And
how it always goes. You know, how often do prices go down after they go up?
Yeah,
here's a
that's
little
true.
luggage anecdote. We're at a Hawaii show this weekend. We have 4 people there, and I think that was like 9 or 10 bags, all packed to like 99 pounds. And then at the last minute, we were like, oh, we need to like, we were going to ship something because a lot of times we just ship certain things to hotels. It would have been like $450 to ship this 99-pound box to the hotel. So we just got a really cheap luggage, put stuff in there, and we're not even going to take it back. So basically, we're flying into Hawaii for $75,
And
and
leave it
for
there.
$75, we have a 99 pounds of extra inventory that
Yeah, you
we don't
figure
even
that's
need
like
the
one
luggage.
sale. It's like one
Yeah,
sale. 1 or 2 small sales, you'll make that back in a heartbeat. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I
and that
think
was the
I
one
think
thing.
in
That
those
was one thing.
situations,
Sorry, I was gonna say just to tag on with that one thing. I one of the vendors who's at that show who we've talked to prior to going live here was they used to always bring 3 bags each. It was always him and his wife, and they would bring 3 bags of 99 pounds each, and just I would be like, oh, you're paying the 75, you're paying $150, every time there and back, and he's like, that's 1 or 2 extra sales, and when you think of it like that, it's like, oh yeah, that's like no big deal at all per bag. It's like 2 sales per bag. Like bringing, X amount of stuff that you're gonna have. It makes total sense. But yeah, it's a big mindset shift here now. So we got to try to find some loopholes or something. But
well, here's a bit of a loophole, and I do it every time for me. I don't make my employees do it, but you also get 2 carry-ons at Southwest, and there's no weight other than what you can carry on.
yeah,
And so, like, I'm literally shrugging 2 briefcases full of posters, which end up being like
yeah,
60 pounds a piece, more than what a check bag would be.
yeah,
And I don't mind because I can stuff my clothes wherever I need to. If my wife's going, we make sure we have like a nice dedicated spot. But I mean, I don't like even in my application, I originally was like, "Can you lift 50 pounds over your head?" And everyone's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "It's not just lifting it; it's putting it over your head." And
yeah.
so
Put it in the
I don't
overhead
make
bin.
everybody do that, but that's an easy way for me to bring an extra 50 or 60 pounds of inventory per hand every time I fly.
Yeah, I do.
yeah,
I pack the crap out of my check or my carry on. And here's a little hack before your flight takes off, if you don't care, go up to the desk, at your gate and just ask them, "Hey, are you guys checking bags?" And 99% of the time, they'll take that carry on from you
Mm-hmm.
and just check it all the way through, so you don't have to worry about it. Or you could just bring it with you. But I do take full advantage of the 2 carry-ons, like I have a duffel bag that I can probably put one of you two in, and then I have my carry-on, which has all the print, a bunch of small prints and just miscellaneous stuff that just adds to the boot accoutrements.
yeah. I think you got to max out the stuff you could actually carry on the plane at this point. I did see a random thread that various airports at the gate are now actually measuring bags too. So not even just for weight, but for dimensional
Oh,
size.
So I know a
geez.
lot of things like Frontier. I've gotten in arguments with Frontier. I'm like, this fits, no, and I have to take things out. Southwest at least was the convenience of if I could carry it in, we're good to go. Frontier, I
Yeah.
remember fighting like you got to stuff this thing in there, and so I put things in my pockets, and now it fits. And then as soon as they measure it, I put it back in. I'm like, was that worth all the headache? This is why I don't want to shop with you,
We
Frontier. But you know,
we had that happen in Salt Lake. Um, I had to I had a bag that was like 1 pound overweight. Dude was like, "This isn't gonna fly," and I was like, "Bet we're gonna see." And I ended up taking out. The way I had it set up was it was an entire sleeve of coasters that I had taped, and I ended up just carrying. They let me carry it through security, so it was like this 20-pound thing of rock. They didn't care,
Yeah. Why
and
wouldn't?
like as soon as I went past, they like I put it in, and nobody Nobody cared at all.
Yeah. And then that's another question. I know we're getting off topic a little bit, but if I'm only allowed 50 pounds, right? So I put 50 pounds in the suitcase and my carry-on is 70 pounds. What is the freaking difference? It's all going on the plane. Does it matter if it's top loaded or bottom loaded? Who gives a crap? I mean, I don't know flight,
Yeah, I don't know.
logistics, but I'm no pilot.
Well,
I'll tell you the biggest thing that this Southwest has made me consider is, I mean, I've kind of based my business on, hey, we have a real, not central, but we have a big hub in Vegas. Most of my workers are there. We have a warehouse. They fly out of there. And I'm like, if we have to start paying an extra $300 to $500 in luggage a show, maybe we start doing what you do, Ryan. It's like we have a lot more satellites all over, and then they can drive more, and we're not so dependent on having such a big warehouse that everybody flies out of, which is so convenient for the workers that are traveling every single week. Like, because if you're traveling every single week, you don't want to be loading and doing all that stuff.
Right.
That's why we have a warehouse manager. But I don't know. Maybe if we're paying this much extra, like per event, maybe that's something we have to consider.
yeah, I think it's going to be, like I said, you guys are going to be the testers for this because I'm just going to follow your lead. I think we only do 5 or 6 flying shows as it is right now. So for us, that's kind of minimal. I mean, even if you're talking about buying tickets for the rest of the year, if that ends up being the case, but if you're doing 802 shows like Dylan, that's a lot of flights.
No, that's
It is a lot of flights. So
You're
curious.
maxing out that credit card.
I'm curious to see what Dylan's going to do with his 863 shows.
Well,
Oh,
I just got a companion pass for me, but I don't. I mostly do driving shows, and so but I'm like, oh, I'll have a companion pass until end of next year. I was like, yeah, I'll get a use case out of that. But like you said for your program, Ryan, can't really do that for every employee. That's just way too expensive.
Right.
It's like, oh, I already have to spend this. I'll do this, and this is I'm the beneficiary, but you can't do that times everybody that's traveling for you.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
completely agree. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know how to tackle this honestly.
the flip side of that is, do you end up having to lose people and only let certain people fly?
That's something we gotta
Gross.
cost out. We gotta cost out. Yeah, I don't think so. That doesn't sound feasible to me. But again, it's this sucks. I hate Southwest right now. I want to punch him in the rear wing.
There is one other hack, and I've done this many times. If your mother is a Southwest flight attendant like mine, you actually can fly for free for will call. But the caveat is you can't super plan that there's availability. So if you have to be at a show on a Thursday by this time, and then you get to the airport and they're like, oh, this one's busy, and you've already checked your bags, it's a whole hassle. So
Yeah,
I can actually fly for free, but I don't usually do it for business because it is such a hassle to check your bags, and then you can't do this flight, you have to do this flight, and it was over. So, but personal wise, there's your other hack. Just know somebody that's a flight attendant.
The ultimate hack is we all become flight attendants for Southwest full time.
that's not a bad idea.
That's the new hustle. That was the long con.
That's what they need. They're just trying to drive labor costs down.
Would you like ice in your drink, sir? I'm not a sir. I'm a ma'am. I'm sorry.
I want the whole can. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. You want that in the can? No, I'll have it right here. No? National Lampoon, European Vacation? No?
Never heard of it.
Oh, boy. Anyway, I digress. I think we need to end there.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if anybody can leave some kind of comment. I really want to see what you guys are thinking offhand, what your initial thoughts are going to be. Obviously, we need to wait and see how it's going to hash out. But let's see what you guys think in terms of what you're planning on doing for those of you that fly to shows. So
Yeah. How about this? I'm going to go around asking people. We'll see if we can't get any ideas, and I'll do an update.
All right.
I got homework.
All right.
I like it. You got 3 days.
As the only person that actually does shows, apparently.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll take care of it.
Well played, sir. All right. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we will try to catch you next week.
See you next
Next
week at
week.
Planet if I see you guys. Bye.
Hopefully,